My name is Craig Bentzley. I just completed an article for issue 66 of Woodcraft magazine on the block plane, which I consider to be one of the most essential hand planes that you can own. If you're not into hand planes and you want to get started, I'd say that's the perfect starting point. It can do a heck of a lot, which you'll learn in the article, but in order for that tool to work correctly, it has to be razor sharp. And I have developed a very simple two-step method to get your blade good and sharp in a matter of a minute or two. In order for a plane iron to be good and sharp, the back has to be perfectly flat and reasonably polished. You have your back flat and reasonably polished. I'm going to show you a very simple way to maintain that razor edge quickly and easily as you work. Let's take a look at a plane iron that is flat and polished, but requires a refreshing of the bevel. You can see here that this is nicely polished and it is very flat, and that surface needs no more work. What we need to do now is reestablish the primary bevel and rehone the secondary bevel. For the sake of speed, repeatability, and accuracy, I like to use a honing jig. This happens to be Veritas Mark II, available from Woodcraft, and it's very simple to use. You have this jig here which establishes your blade angle, your grind angle, and you adjust for the width of the blade, which in this case is 1 3/8. Snug this guide down, insert your iron, bevel up from the back, push it against the stop, against the fence, snug these screws up. You want to make sure this roller is, the hash mark is at the 12 o'clock position, because this is an eccentric cam, and remove your jig to establish your angle, and you're ready to go. What I'm doing here to reestablish the primary bevel is I've got a piece of 100 grit pressure sensitive adhesive sandpaper on a piece of granite, and I use a piece of rubber shelf liner to keep this assembly from sliding around on the bench. In order to reestablish the primary bevel, I want to apply a lot of finger pressure on the front of the blade. It should take maybe 10-12 strokes, and what I want to see is a uniform burr across the back of the blade. I can feel one now. It needs a little more work, probably 4 or 5 more strokes, and that's really nice. There's a really nice burr on there. Now we're going to remove the burr off the back of the blade. This is a 4,000, 8,000 grit Waterstone, Norton Waterstone, and I'm just going to set the back of the blade down gently onto the 8,000 grit surface, move it back and forth just a few times, and that burr should be removed, and it is. Now I'm going to establish the micro bevel. This is an eccentric roller, and this hash mark should be rotated from the 12 o'clock position where you did your primary bevel down to the 6 o'clock position, which will give you an additional 2 degrees of angle and that'll become your micro bevel. Just gently lay it down on the stone. I try to put more pressure on the pull stroke than on the forward stroke, because you can dig into the stone. Again, this is the 8,000 grit stone, and probably 5 or 6 strokes. You've already got a very nice uniform line along the edge, very polished, and I'd say that micro bevel is complete. Well, we're almost there. The only thing that remains to be done is to remove any small wire edge that was left from putting on the secondary or micro bevel. All right. All we're going to need now is just a couple swipes. And that is really sharp. We're done. As you can see, refreshing an edge is very easy and doesn't take a lot of time, and the only way you're ever going to do quality woodworking is to maintain a sharp edge. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm Craig Bentzley and thanks for watching.